Yo guys, what is going on? Nickname is just Yellow, and today this Norwegian hardcore PC gamer is gonna make a quick video about movement in CSGO. We're gonna go through a lot of the basics, but believe me, I'm not even kidding, okay? I play a lot of random matchmaking with a lot of strangers, and some of these people are at Legendary Eagle Master rank, and they still do not know how to climb up, quickly climb up a ladder, okay? So I don't really know how they got to their skill level, but like these kind of things, they should be obvious. So that being said, we're gonna go through a lot of the basics, but I'm gonna merge them together. And for people who are maybe at double AK level, a couple of these things, if you just play them a lot and do them here and there, when you get the chance, you'll be able to effectively wreck your enemy every time at that level. Because when you're playing that position or that kind of spot or that map for that sake, you'll effectively just be able to run them over because you are there faster than them. You can pre-aim them faster. You can maybe toss a couple of nades here and there that will effectively allow you to just, you know, juke them so much that you can wreck them, and that's gonna be so pleasurable for you as a player, right? So let's go through the basic mechanics first, and then we are going to go through some merging and making magic of that happen. I'm going to use Cash as an example because there's like a lot of smaller things here. Everything from climbing ladders faster we're going to go through, which some LEM players can't do, which is kind of awkward, I would say. Then we're going to go through effective ways of doing an aggressive peek right here with a couple of nades that will allow you to just obliterate the enemy. We're going to go through the mechanics and physics of you know, jumping, crouching, the timings that you get, how far and high you can jump and stuff like that. Just basic stuff that will allow you to get on top of these crates, for example, alone, by the way. I've actually had like a LEM buddy, I would say. He asked me for boost or something, or somebody else. That has to be the most awkward thing ever. Yeah, that aside. So we are gonna go through those things, and so it must be awkward for him when silver players know how to do that stuff, and he's lemon don't, okay? Or maybe he do now, but I don't know. But anyways, yeah, let's go through that stuff. So first thing first, when you want to play CSGO, you want to be able to get so used to the controls of aiming around that you don't think about it. It's easier to do this with aim because aiming is so much more active in terms of your connection to the game. But getting yourself a mechanical keyboard or just using your membrane keyboard and playing a lot with it will also allow you to do a lot of different random things in the game that will, like, you don't really need to think about it. That is the clue and like the end point that I want you people to reach with this video. Whether or not this is like your initial video that will allow you to understand a lot of how it's valuable in terms of playing CSGO, or maybe it's like, you knew all of it, but maybe you lost out on a couple of details that are important. I don't know what your motivation might be, but all I know is that if you are missing out on details, it will help you a lot. And if you want to go from noob to mastery, this is going to help you out a lot more than what you would think. So from there on out, that's the objective of the video. Let's start with a quick basic mechanics, because introductions galore, eh? So in CSGO, you got jumping, crouching, and regular moving, and all of this is bound to axes and certain values. Jumping, for example, let's say that we are aiming ourselves at that little dot on the wall right there. If I jump right now, like a perfect jump, you can see that the left part of my crosshair, it will like stop at that little kind of black line here, okay? Approximately right there, the top of the left crosshair line thing, at least, okay? But if I then start to spam my jump, suddenly I don't go as high anymore. This is important on maps like Mirage if you want to do a single way kind of peek and you want to try and do it as safely as possible. Only exposing your head for like a millisecond by spamming the jump from a specific area, that will allow you to more safely do a peek that probably only the very best people in the entire world can maybe try and hit, or people who know life for that spot to try and kill you, or spam you and pre-fire you, okay? That can also kill you, obviously. So you're not unkillable, but it have its advantages. Other things to mention with that is that just spamming it all the time won't really be useful unless you know how to bunny hop. I'm not going to cover those mechanics, but I prefer to use the spacebar, even though again some people use the scroll wheel and the spacebar to jump. They both have their benefits, obviously, in terms of bunny hopping, but we are not going to cover that. So let's move over then to crouching and how that kind of stuff works. So if you want to take cover, crouching you can do, obviously, but believe it or not, this can actually be merged with spraying, and it can allow you to do that more safely. And especially if you have a wooden kind of box in front of you that you can only crouch behind if you're like in cover, or you only get cover if you crouch behind it and stuff like that. This can actually be an advantage, and the reason for this is obviously it's more about time and place, and I'll explain that quickly. So in the connector on Mirage, that map, there's like a wooden box. I've legitimately sprayed down 1 or 2 people, and the gameplay is uploaded of it on this channel. I was only able to do that because the spray is still consistent even when you are crouching up and down, as you can see right here. Crouching obviously increases spray accuracy, but that is another thing. So as you can see right here, like let's say that I just want to spray down a guy right here, I don't want to release the fire button. It obviously do require me some, it requires some control over the player in terms of knowing how to use the spray, which I will eventually cover in another video, but you probably get the point. So from here on out, we are not really going to merge these things, but rather the crouching mechanic itself with the jump, okay? Because there's so much more you can do in this game. So me only using the spacebar, my timing for when I land is one of the most important things I need to work with when I want to just, you know, jump. Eventually, I'll be able to do the timing pretty effectively, and it do require some practice, but it's easier when I try and actually do it on the in maps and stuff like that, because when you jump, there's like an axis to it. I'll show you, okay? So when you jump up and you move, obviously you're gonna move something like this, okay? Like it's gonna be like a fucking, I don't know, a upside down U. If I know that I'm gonna be stuck towards this wall and I'm gonna land because I have downwards momentum, all I really need to react to, if I also time it right, like I start here for example, is that when I'm here, it's a 100% chance that I can jump and effectively get up, okay? So that, like, in my head, that's sort of speaking like a little math puzzle that I don't need to think about, which is one of the benefits of just playing games a lot, because you don't need to think about your left hand, which I said earlier. So I just do this kind of stuff, shit, I missed. I can just do these kind of things without thinking, really, and it looks fluent. That's because I've just done it a lot. But it do benefit you a lot in the longer run, because that way you can try and focus on other things, communicating with your enemy, planning stuff, maybe taking or giving calls, all those kind of smaller things. Maybe pre-aiming, because the enemies are now tossing out flashbangs, and then instead I can now still be on this railing because it's, you know, it has slightly better cover than standing below here. Maybe the enemies are like tossing a flashbang, and since I then got good movement, I'm able to effectively just, you know, still stay on this railing despite whatever the hell they toss and shit like that. Like, smaller things will have the advantages in that avenue, but it do require on you just, you know, nailing down the mechanics. So then let's move over to a little bit of merging with crouching and you know, jumping, but in a different sense, because this here is like timings with certain places in which you can reach, okay? I mean, this one here barely sticks out. You almost have to, I'm not kidding, you have to strafe yourself in there after you do the jump. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, you know, okay, so let's merge the two, jump and crouch, and see what we can be able to do if we just know the map as well. Because crouching will have its set height in which you get to jump on top of, and some items are set to just about that height. What this does, by the way, is like it adds more depth to the game, because silver players or lower ranked players in general, they will not be able to do these things, while better players, because they know how, they'll be able to do them, which will make the map so much more open in terms of what you can do, where you can be, how you can kill the enemy, and where you can stage your kills so that you can wreck the enemy. So I'm just gonna do something right now and then explain it, so that you understand what you might be able to do on the cache here with all of those things, all those things. So what you want to do here is to have a flash and a smoke and maybe some kind of sidearm that is silent or whatever really, and then you want to toss a smoke right here. Oops, I actually have the button on for radio messages and I missed. So what you want to do right here is to toss a smoke grenade. Okay, whatever, it's gonna get stuck infinitely, I guess. But the point here is that you want to toss a smoke that lands approximately right here. You gotta work on that with how you run and where you aim it at. When it lands there, you can also enter with a flashbang in order to stop and hinder your enemies. I like to just jump and toss it down into the ground. That way it will fly up into the ground and blow up. Either in the smoke or, you know, in their face at least. You should try and aim it so that it will only bounce into the smoke. And when you have like just tossed those randomly, let's try it again so that we at least get a good sample here of how it looks like. Okay, like that. Smoke lands like that. Then you can just do this. It will fly in, effectively blind everybody. You don't really need to think about the flash after you tossed it, by the way. You just jump, release the left click here, and then you just go into the smoke right here. It will blow up behind you, so it's not dangerous at all. Then you just do the jumping here. You just get on top here. This is a combination of crouch, jump, and holding W forward, okay? Just crouch, jump, or jump, crouch in a very quick succession. And now you're effectively on top of the first box. Now, there's a little trick in towards getting on top of these boxes. One thing is to stand all the way close up to it. This way you can effectively just get on top fast if you know the timings, which I talked about earlier. And the other thing is to aim at the middle axis of the box. Wherever the hell it might be, just do that thing, and you will effectively be able to get on top of the thing. Okay? And the cool part here is that if there's a smoke right here, and you then decide to go all the way on top of here, and here you can actually see over the smoke. The enemy might be able to see you. It might be annoying because of their angle as well. Now you can just, you know, start shooting at them, and if the enemies are terrible, they'll get wrecked. Yeah, so that is one way in which you can just combine all of these smaller things in order to be able to just effectively ruin the enemy's day, which is, you know, half of the goal of playing CSGO, isn't it? I mean, it's a competitive shooter, so I mean, come on. So yeah, other things that we can merge this with will be strafing. I'm not going to cover strafing in CSGO right now, but I already have a video about it, and I'm going to show you that strafing, it will have its incredible benefits as well. So let's say that you want to be able to get on top of the Shroud spot that it's called right on top of here. That's because Shroud was able to get an incredible triple kill here in a certain game. That aside, if you know how to do all the jumping things, and if you land with a crouch, I'm holding crouch now. If you land with a crouch, you will actually fly a little bit further in terms of when you land, okay? If you know how to strafe, then you can effectively get on top of this door that has to be opened in the opposite direction every time. So if you're playing against enemies on CT side that allow you to get the blue room and also allow you to push the door this way, and maybe they didn't hear it, you never know. Now you can effectively get on top of this light and then on the Shroud spot alone. This is very helpful, and I'm not even kidding. I knew of this since the map was launched, just because this made sense, and since I could make the jump, I just didn't think of it. I mean, it was nice. And most people just did the boost right here. Some did the run boost, that's incredibly advanced, but me, I just did it right like this. I've never really used it in a game because it just seems inconvenient and time consuming. But as you can see, if you're at lower rank and they do give you the time, this stuff right here is just OP, and you can do it alone. The advantages of this is obviously really great, and if the enemy executes smokes towards the side, just chilling here, letting them run in a little bit, only watching the people that might be looking at you and then killing them when they decide to peek you, or just actually get a layer over here. That might also save you more time and make the spot more efficient. So, you know what, we have already taught you people a lot, but let's finish it up with climbing ladders faster, because a lot of you people are really, really sloppy and slow on the nuke ladder, okay? So, in CSGO, you can climb ladders faster by applying 2 axes instead of 1. So in CSGO, you can, you know, move left, right, forward, backwards, but applying 2 of those at the same time, and they have to be like be diagonally, okay? If you do that on the ladder, and you also look to the side, like you look like with your left shoulder, you look forward, like upwards, forward obviously, with your left shoulder or your right shoulder. If you do this, and you then click like the respectively kind of keys, you will actually fly up into the air because of the momentum. On Nuke, this is very important so that you can get extra valuable milliseconds on the site. While on this map right here, it's not that important. I would rather just climb up like this and then prone instantly so that I don't fly up in the air. With the timing right there, with proning, you'll actually move incredibly slowly up the ladder as you do when you prone, and now you will actually attach to the little cat thingamabobber right here a lot faster, so that's kind of useful. Also, when you jump on ladders, you get shot out, so that's kind of cool if you just want to, you know, juke the enemy. And by the way, like, the momentum on the ladders are pretty crazy. You should try and play around with them. You can, like, just do some really sick things that probably look insane. So yeah, now you probably have learned how to climb the ladder more effectively. If you still struggle with it, play offline match against bots on Nuke, start as CT, test it out. If you ever want to try a couple of these smaller spots here or apply them to other maps, just be observant, look at objects, see if you can actually be able to reach them or not. Practice the strafes, practice just the game a lot, just play smaller things, and infinitely you'll be able to just get a lot better at the game. And, you know, maybe someday you'll just not think about all the unimportant things, and you might be able to just wreck the enemy like I do here and there, now and then, you know. I'm no world champion, but I'm not super terrible either. So hopefully people enjoy this video, and if you want to support the YouTube channel, there's a lot of ways you can do that in the description below. So that being said, thanks for watching. Hopefully you people learned something. If you did, please message me here and there if you were able to effectively wreck somebody with those kind of things, because that's always fun to read about that. So anyways, thanks for watching, have a nice day, and don't get beastified when you play.